3, 2, 1.
I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch.
Double clap.
God damn.
When I did it.
Alright, it starts now.
Cool. Come on, I can sing it. Stop
Oh
clapping,
my God.
man. Come on.
Alright, so pyramids.
Yeah, like what is it about the structure and the shape that people decided to build them in, Aztec temples? Those are pyramids. There's pyramids in China. There's pyramids in, obviously, Egypt. There's pyramids in Greece. Why is it about
It's funny you mention it, yeah. But I have to watch the shows again because I was actually watching some like documentaries and stuff, and there's definitely something about the whole, just like, I think it's even just the human brain, how you interpret like something that's really equal, because what's the word? Symmetrical shapes have like are quite common. As in, when you see something symmetrical, you're like, oh wow, it looks like really good. And I feel there was something I watched and he was talking about that. But I'm not gonna say anything now because I might be just like getting the whole message wrong. But it's definitely, there's something alongside with symmetry that has like in terms of what you're saying with the shapes and that.
Yeah, so are you saying it was purely aesthetic?
It
it looked pretty, so let's make a pyramid.
No, it's.
I think it wouldn't be just easy to build the pyramid, like something
compared to a square.
But
it's easier to build a normal four-sided building with a roof than.
Well, in those times,
I think something like that was quite a feat.
Yeah, and back then as well, if you think.
He was just.
Alright, well, this is my take on it in terms of in those periods, like in that period.
Yeah.
So environment. So back then, most like recognizable thing that would be seen and all would be mountain ranges.
Okay.
And that's got that whole triangle.
Yeah. I see that.
So probably that that kind of like shape. That's what inspired the pyramids,
Good shout.
Which I feel was possibly one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
In terms of building now, like I know everyone's obviously probably watched those like documentaries saying like physically it's impossible, like how they actually created the pyramids just by manpower and like the technology they had, it was just impossible. Like, and then they start obviously going into saying there must have been like a higher power or like something out of this world that like assisted with that.
Yeah.
And that I just I'm still in awe of like I don't know. I'm just like I actually just haven't got anything to say. I'm just like it was made somehow.
Well, that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, like everything, all the theories we have about how they were built is just that.
Yeah.
They're theories.
Yeah.
They're not facts. So when people dispute, the mainstream way that they were built, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's a theory. Yeah. It's allowed to be questioned.
Yeah.
And I'm actually against the whole notion of like, oh no, this is definitely how they were built. Just lots of slaves, ropes and pulleys, and they just moved all the blocks. I mean, if you look at the statistics of the pyramids, which I'm not gonna say any because they will probably be wrong, but it's like hundreds of tons and millions of stones to make a pyramid. That's a lot of slaves.
Yeah.
That's a lot of slaves, and to quarry the material, move it on site, place it on its specific position. I'm not saying aliens or anything like that. I'm just saying you can't tell me that it was just built like with ropes and pulleys.
Yeah. No, it's exactly like when I know it's going off pyramids, but in terms of like Stonehenge. Yeah. So when you actually go there and visit, and when you actually do go through the little exhibit, and they explain the different types of stones that are on there, and some are coming from Wales.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were pulled from Wales all the way down to like in Cornwall, I think it's Cornwall. Don't quite remember.
Portsmouth.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's not. Yeah, it wouldn't be Cornwall. It's, maybe somewhere down there.
Southampton.
Yeah, somewhere in
Just throw that around
southwest,
the top now.
southwest England.
We have
somewhere.
a computer able to tell us this stuff.
Stonehenge.
I've been Stonehenge. It is very interesting.
Stonehenge. It's in
Wiltshire.
Salisbury.
Oh,
Salisbury.
Salisbury. Oh, okay.
Salisbury. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah.
it's on the way to like Cornwall.
Yeah,
It's like
but
that
exactly
part
like
of the-
exactly like what you were saying. It's why like
It's in Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go. It's in Earth. So, but was it from Earth?
yeah, but exactly like when you were saying about So obviously relating back to the pyramids and then like in terms of just the materials that they had to like actually like transport, and you're just thinking really like ropes and pulleys.
Yeah.
But they say like
It's just-
Stonehenge
it is
was
a
like a
bit
sacrificial
far-fetched.
thing. As in like the way it's mapped.
It's not even that. It's the
possibly
location
for,
and how
like,
it's actually mapped along the start. Like I think it's along with the
with the
night
stars.
sky.
Isn't it the same for
It's
the
some
pyramids?
crazy stuff. Yeah.
When they're saying the pyramids were built just to reflect the certain stars in the sky.
Certain constellations.
But
Constellations.
it's like
Or maybe towards
they
the
quote me on this as well, yeah. But apparently, like the pyramids of Giza, they are
Aligned.
mirroring like Orion's belt, but they are perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
Which is like, dude, this is like we're talking like fucking millennium, like million, not millions, sorry, thousands of years.
Yeah.
of course.
And they're able to like
Well-
do that just by looking.
Yeah.
We're already having difficulty like with fucking instruments trying to track like
Well,
and satellites and stuff.
Okay,
But, yeah.
so some more conspiracy theories, and they also say that like it's not just the pyramids. There's other like historic monuments around the world, and if you map their relation to the stars, they all point to the same year, like 3500 BC. So I don't know, man. It's all fun to think about.
Yeah, and it definitely
It's
makes you
interesting.
think. You're just like, wow, like it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But then there's obviously something behind it. Well, not obviously, but as in you think there is. But again, it's like you're saying they're all theories. It's like you can take one theory and just be like, just accept it.
Yeah.
But,
I was reading an article today because I was looking into the why are pyramids, like why are they that shape, and I came across some article which I haven't fact checked to see if what the stuff it says is true, and they were saying that some time ago there was this scientist who went to Egypt and he stepped inside the pyramid of Khufu, and inside some garbage cans alongside with like tourist trash. There were some like a dead cat and a dead rat that had like obviously stumbled inside and died, but they hadn't decomposed. Their bodies hadn't decomposed. So he thought about it and he went and he built like a model pyramid with the same dimensions as the real pyramid, not
but
to
like,
scale.
yeah,
Obviously
to scale,
smaller,
Yeah, smaller.
And he placed like a dead cat inside it.
To see if it decomposes.
Yeah, and apparently it didn't.
Yeah, they say the way actually
And
some of
then-
the pyramids are built.
And then some other scientist heard that, and then he made his own model pyramid, and then he placed a blunt razor underneath the shape, and it sharpened itself.
Yeah,
And then they started selling
Self-shop.
kits. They started selling kits in shops that you could build your own pyramid, to sharpen your razor.
Okay.
Now again, I'm not sure if I haven't fact checked. I don't know if they could have made
Yeah,
all
no,
that.
see, that's actually strange that you said that because apparently the way, again, there was, I don't know when I watched these documentaries, but they were really like factual, and I was like, wow, like, so like some of the, I don't know which pyramids, but I think the way some of the passages are made, because like something about acoustics in an actual pyramid, they have these like kind of like miraculous kind of things, exactly like we were saying with the whole self-sharpening and like limited decomposing and stuff.
Yeah.
And that alone as well, just flabbergasted me. Like, I'm just like, what the? Like,
If it's true.
yeah. But then they were doing some research on just like the way these funnels, like they channel, I don't know, sound, and it just creates an environment which is like obviously not earthly kind of thing. I don't know. It's
Well,
very,
to me,
it's
So
very
you're saying
weird.
it's like it's a not supernatural thing. It's just it's natural, but it's just they
Yeah, but then like,
figured
when
a way
you think,
to
but when you think,
own that.
that's
sort of
but
nation
this
to do that.
yeah, but then that's when you think like at the time it's built.
Oh yeah, of
As in,
course,
like-
yeah. Obviously,
Like,
looking back in that
how are
time,
they able to like think of
They
this
wouldn't
kind of
have-
stuff?
yeah,
Obviously, there
they
must have
wouldn't
been an assistant, like some
Well,
kind
to
of
me,
other assistant.
True. Well,
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what's
crazy stuff.
that's
I know that
actually
stuff. By the way.
that's actually what's amazing. The fact that, to me anyway, I think it's quite obvious that they were a lot more advanced then than we think they were.
Yeah.
Because
That's it, yeah.
and also like we don't know what was destroyed in the Library of Alexandria, which was the biggest library at the time, and it was burned down, and there was like thousands and thousands of scrolls of knowledge that were just destroyed. So that would literally be the equivalent of like burning every book and shutting down the internet for us.
Yeah.
Like just because there's people that know how to do stuff doesn't mean that knowledge is going to get passed down to generations. A lot of knowledge is going to be destroyed.
Do you feel sometimes, even though like since we've come a long way in deciphering and everything, do you still think things are still misinterpreted? Because like it's exactly like this might sound a bit stupid, but fossils, for example.
Yeah.
So they'll put the fossils together and they're like, oh, this dinosaur, and for a number of years, it's believed that was the dinosaur, and then actually they've realised. I think it was with the iguanodon farm.
Iguanodon?
Is it iguanodon?
Yeah.
I think
that-
so.
Did you make that up? Iguanodon.
I'm pretty sure you can check it.
I know iguana is a current animal.
Check iguana. Like,
Google
Google
a don at
I
the
think
end,
it
it
was
becomes a
like-
dinosaur.
I think it's iguana, but they literally
Yeah.
thought like the thumb was actually a horn. So they had they made a skeleton where they placed it, and then that was, again, I might be wrong, but yeah, they realised it was part of the thumb, and then they've reconstructed the fossil, and that's what I mean. Like, so in terms of these past things, like we're seeing all these hieroglyphics and all that stuff. Like, we've got scholars that have deciphered it and stated that yes, this is what it is.
Yeah.
But then, could they be actually misinterpreted? Exactly like
Definitely.
Pluto not being a planet anymore.
Definitely.
I've grown up knowing that Pluto, like we were 9 planets in the fucking solar system,
Yeah.
and then now you're just like, oh, it's just
There
what it is.
Planet X.
Yeah.
Nibiru.
But yeah, so and that's what is I feel is just a bit mad.
I think there's just a
These
lot
days,
of unanswered truth that we can't put to light.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's things out there that we can't just like going back to saying about fossils and stuff. Yeah, they pieced it together, but what I don't understand is once they pieced it together and like, this is a velociraptor, this is what the skin would look like, this is what colour they look like, they had feathers. Like, how do you know? I guess it's
That's all going
evolution
to
and stuff, but
that's what I mean. The fact you got
I
carbon
think there's
dating
just a
now.
lot of untold truth that we can't put to light and say this is truth.
The study of dinosaurs is paleontology, right?
Yes.
So from what I've heard, at the early stages of paleontology, because I think there was like a heated
Debate.
race between two main scientists.
Oh,
A lot of the evidence that was found was actually manufactured. So, for example, they passed off a lot of like whale bones as dinosaur bones just to one up each other.
One up each other. Okay, I can understand.
So
fucking arms race, isn't it?
yeah, so a lot of the initial stuff that we knew was actually not factual.
yeah.
And the thing you said, I totally agree with you. Like, how did they know like a dinosaur skin was green and it's got feathers? Like, but then again, I can't question those things because I haven't studied it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
for
what I'm
example,
saying. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
like, you know, if you're a firefighter and you see like burn marks on a carpet, you're gonna be like, oh, that's a chemical fire.
Yeah.
Oh, that started from a gas fire, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to tell certain signs.
Yeah.
So I can't really question how they know they had feathers.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But sometimes I'm like, I totally agree. Like, how did you make up what the whole dinosaur looks like when you only have 2 bones?
Yeah.
Like, where'd you get the rest of it from?
It's interesting, man. Yeah. Again, it's not a field that I am. I have crazy knowledge in, so I can't. This is not me just like take a shot at the scientists or those people that actually do that as a living, as a career.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really, really amazing.
Justin loves dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs.
No.
Like,
Justin loves dinosaurs.
okay, cool.
You don't
Shout
love
out
dinosaurs.
Call him Ross, bro.
Mate, I like that you call him Ross. Ross Geller. But yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, I didn't know that stuff about the pyramids and
Going back to
if that's true or not. I don't
Yeah.
know. You read it from article and stuff,
but I say going back to as in terms of why pyramids all over the world are built the same way, look the same, and they have all these designs. It's I just don't have an explanation for it.
I like-
I'd like to think.
I like imagining that.
Yeah, but
No,
like
I,
pointy things.
I like imagining that things have more meaning to them, right?
Yeah.
Like
just that.
Like these people weren't stupid,
Yeah.
right? Especially if we go with the mainstream theory of how these things were built. I don't think someone was just like, yes, I want a pyramid and bring all my slaves.
Yeah.
All millions of them for 20 years, they will
I'm
build
sure-
my pyramid. And then
Yeah.
someone was like, yeah, but boss, like, if it's a rectangle, we can get like 20 of them built in 5 years. Pyramid. Kofu, pyramid. I don't think that's how it worked. I think they must have had some significance, whether it was spiritual, whether it was physical, whether like the actual shape of a pyramid affects things inside it. I think that's more likely than just
A bunch of people just putting.
it looks nice as a pyramid.
Yeah.
It looks nice as a pyramid. Let's build a pyramid
There has to be a
there's
reason
definitely a
behind
lot
it.
more
because
reason.
it's definitely more challenging.
Of course. And I think that's what's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that people are trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we're still talking about it.
Like
Just how, wouldn't it? I think it's more-
2000, however long it's been, that we're still talking about.
They
something.
say that Cleopatra is closer to the birth of the iPhone than the Great Pyramid. So that's how much of a time gap there is, right?
Yeah.
And these dates that we have are actually, they're not very accurate because you can't carbon date rock.
Yeah.
So what they usually do is they find material between the rocks,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, it must have been from that period.
Yeah. They look at the sediment and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's flawed because for the longest period we thought that around 10,000 BC people were just hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Until they found a place in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe. That was, I think it's like the oldest monolithic structures.
Yeah.
And they have like hieroglyphics carved into these huge rocks. Like outwards, so like 3D carving.
Okay.
Instead of inwards,
It's
outwards.
weird that you were going to say like about the whole carving as well, because I feel that just like when you just see the intricacies involved, and they're supposed to be only using like fletch, like freaking flint and stuff. It's like, no man, there is definitely something else that it's very interesting to know what else is behind that, like the reasoning behind just. It's for me. I'm just always like wow, like speechless when it comes to that.
And because of what they found in Göbekli Tepe, this place I just mentioned in Turkey, they kind of have had to rewrite history. Because in order to build something like that, you're not a hunter-gatherer. That shows signs of civilization. Because in order to build something of such scale, you need agriculture, you need writing, right? So we kind of had to shift our history further back just because of that one discovery. And prior to that, people were just like, no, 10,000 hunter-gatherers, definite, guaranteed. And it just shows how much like one discovery can do to history.
Yeah,
so
it
just takes one more discovery until we rewrite it again.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
Nothing's ever set in stone.
That's what you did there.
I like that.
It's pretty terrible, but terribly good.
It's crazy thing that when you said like the Aztecs were ahead of the time in terms of just
the Mayan
knowledge-wise,
like it goes to the Mayan calendar as well.
It shows that it's a danger to have too much knowledge of you know what I mean. So at that time they were probably at the peak of civilization.
Yeah.
In terms of how they worked and stuff, like still untold truths. But was that their downfall?
Well, this is what I find amazing. I find it amazing that we see history as linear, right?
Yeah.
Like 20,000 years ago,
this happened,
people were down there,
yeah.
below us.
Yeah.
And now we are better than them.
Yeah.
And we're up here. But that's not a guarantee. How do we know that they didn't reach the exact same stage that we've reached?
And now we're just on that cycle.
They destroyed themselves, let's say nuclear war.
That's what I'm saying,
and then the history just rewrote itself.
We're not just nuclear war, maybe.
Like that's what I'm saying. Is there a peak where, depending on the time, like that's your knowledge base higher than this. Like you're inherently going to destroy yourselves.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
I think
because you look at Aztecs, you look at
any great civilization,
any great civilization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Did all that stuff. Rome.
Yeah, the Romans.
Yeah.
I mean, and
it seems to be a reoccurring theme.
I think so, and I think in a way
we're just prolonging it more. Like that's what I feel.
Yeah, but I think we're taking pieces
we've
from
learned
there.
we've learned from history,
but we're still trailing the same way. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be
now.
Well,
no, I feel now it's more so. It's all about expansion now. Like as in now we're looking to the stars, and obviously they're
I don't think so, man.
No, I mean, yeah.
Now saying that we're going to start not looking.
No, because I mean, like there has been like as in they are running tests on just like whether it's possible to like live on like Mars, because obviously Mars is like the next planet.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, NASA. Apparently NASA.
NASA ain't doing shit. It's all fucking.
No, but this is what I mean. Like
it's all Elon Musk. Yeah, it took a private company to send something in space in how many years? It's ridiculous.
No, I applaud him. It's amazing what he's doing. Like, but I think as humans, I'm reading a book called Homodeus, and it talks about history. And we seem to delve back into history not to learn from it, but to free ourselves from it.
Yeah.
So everything politically now that we do in history, slavery has now brought up, black rights and stuff, and feminism is because of the past, the gap of male and women.
Yeah.
And it was saying that when we reach the stage where, because right now our technology is going above and beyond right now, and who knows that they release things in technology now, but they have already things in place that are even more amazing.
Yeah.
But they just don't want to give it to us straight away.
Yeah.
So I was reading it saying that the current trajectory we're in, we're not going to be looking at external materialistic things to make us better. We're going to start doing things to ourselves. We're basically going to try and make ourselves immortal. I think that's the case for everyone these days. Well, not obviously the rich and the poor. Yeah. Obviously, it's different. But I think as a human, as a human species, we want to live forever. And well, some people may want to. If there's a possibility, then I think it is, because we have now. We're like.
No, I'm asking you. Like,
me?
Would you want to
live forever? Why not? Yeah, I guess so.
If you didn't have a choice, I mean, you can't turn it off and on.
Oh,
it's like it's either all or nothing.
Just immortal.
I don't know. That's a hard question to craft. I can't say.
I don't feel like people are chasing immortality.
I don't think. No, I'm not saying like everybody. I'm talking like obviously just the path we're taking technology. We're going to have the ability to grow organs. We're going to have the ability to...
Which we already can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So people are going to start molding their own... Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily... It's not necessarily like immortality, but I definitely feel it's more like prolonging of life, because... I mean, when you look at the stats now, even though we're still all like health conscious, we're like, oh my gosh, like guys, we're eating X amount of calories. Look, oh my god, he's obese and stuff. The actually average age lifespan is actually increased compared to 100 years ago.
That's what I'm saying, and it's increasing.
But there's many reasons for that.
Yeah, as in obviously the technology, like you were saying, the whole technology and stuff is evolving, but I don't think it's necessarily trying to traject to a life of immortality.
Yeah, but I think
like we're still gonna. At the end of the day, everything's got everything. Well, scientifically, what we've been taught is like everything degrades.
Yeah, everything has an end.
Like the stars fucking degrade, but it's just literally just trying to prolong it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I think you could make the human body live forever.
Yeah, I mean, there's all like
science, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that everybody's going to want it.
Science is always going to be like.
I'm not saying everybody's going to want it, but I'm saying it's a possibility that you can live forever.
See, that's the thing, though. Is there a thing?
Is there something? I think no. I don't think there's companies whose focus is to prolong the human lifespan, and eventually that's going to be achievable. And some people are going to choose to do it, and the people that are probably not going to choose to not do it will do it for more, I guess, moral or religious reasons, things like that.
Well, wouldn't that make their religion void then from that?
Why?
As in, like, to prolong.
Oh, that's what I mean. I mean, people would choose not to do it for religion.
For religion, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. But I think just as a human race, we are essentially gods currently amongst all things on earth. We've already set ourselves on that pedestal. No one can question us.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have
unless you're a parent.
Unless you're a parent. But I think like we're currently at a stage where we are our own.
It's true.
We are our own downfall. Like we're our own downfall.
Yeah.
Like nothing. I was reading in the book. He was saying back in the day there was. Oh, I think I said this in the last podcast. There was 3 things that everybody feared, and that was plague, famine, and war.
Yeah.
Famine is still there, but it's a political thing. You know what I mean? We can be void of poverty and people hunger. We have all this food in the world.
It's economy,
man. But it's economy, it's classes, whatever.
Yeah, it's exactly like pharmaceutical companies.
War was that's always going to be. There's always going to be conflict of interest as a human being. So there will always be war. But plagues or illnesses, we have the medical knowledge to counteract things. Illnesses weren't like the Black Plague was just like that wiped out like a lot of people. We have like things that came now that we essentially thought they were going to be big epidemics, but they've now annihilated and it's just like second thought.
Yeah.
So the way things are going now, I'm not saying that everybody wants to live more, but we're going to have the capacity to be able to prolong ourselves. But where do we draw the line? That's what I'm saying about the Aztecs.
And that's where it goes back to the building of the pyramids.
Possibly it is. Who knows, man? It could be. There'll probably be an event where we'll reach the pinnacle of our, I don't know, success. Like AI could overtake us and
build pyramids themselves.
And build pyramids themselves, and then we have emotion and be like, cool, we're gonna rule over the humans now.
I find it amazing how after I don't know how many thousands of years the pyramids actually are. We're still talking about them. And they're still there.
Yeah.
That's the form of immortality that they achieve.
That
we are. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you
I can't remember what I was saying now.
We're saying pyramids are great.
I think pyramids are amazing. I've never seen them in person, but I would love to.
And they were definitely, from this discussion, I feel now I've been swayed that an outer force or being or aided the fellow man.
I just think for a fact they knew more than that we think they did.
Yeah.
Whether that was outside help giving them that knowledge, whether it was something they discovered themselves, they knew more stuff than we think they did.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh. Wordplay.
Plenty of wordplays going on here.
Yeah, it's crazy.